many here truly love the Lord Jesus Christ and accept Him as Lord and Savior? Amen. Amen. I want to speak this morning on the comfortable cross because we don't want the real thing. In America, we've got it pretty easy. I want to ask you this. If you needed to lay your head on something to sleep at night, would you choose a pillow or a hard rock? If you wanted a good night's sleep, would you choose a nice Serta mattress or a hard cot? If you had to drive across the country with kids and the gasoline was all paid for, would you choose a small compact car, like a smart car, or a big SUV? If you had to go on a 5-mile hike, what kind of shoes would you wear? Would you wear high heels or tennis shoes? You see, one of the things that's near the top of your mind in each of these situations is comfort. Your comfort. How many of you think that comfort is not only a good thing, but it's an important thing? I do. I do. We're constantly bombarded with messages from all around us emphasizing comfort. We even have comfortable exercise machines. We're told we need a comfortable retirement plan. It's good to have comfortable seats in our car when we're driving. We even expect our church building to be comfortable. With heat in winter and air conditioning in the summer. But the only problem is comfort is that we'll allow it to creep over into our spiritual lives. We want to have a comfortable religion. There's a fictitious story about a man who went around complaining about the size of the cross that the Lord had given him. He complained how his suffering was far greater than all the others. He even begged the Lord to reduce the size of his cross. So finally, the Lord said, "All right, Mr. Complainer, I'm going to let you see the spiritual world. I want you to see all the crosses people are called to bear, and I'll allow you to go in and choose one for yourself." The man saw these crosses in the area. Some of them were very, very large and heavy. But he finally saw 2 small crosses. And he didn't want the Lord to think that he was lazy. So he chose the bigger of the 2 smaller crosses. How good of him. The Lord asked him if he was sure that that was the one he wanted. And the man began to explain to the Lord that he knew it was really small, but that he really needed a break for the cross he'd been carrying. And after all, he didn't take up the cross that was the smallest. The Lord said, "Well, the reason I asked is because that's the cross that you were carrying all along and doing all the complaining about." You see, the problem with comfort is that it always costs us something to have it. Many times, we refuse to acknowledge the price we pay to keep it. Even more important, it clashes with Jesus' statement in Luke 9:23. Jesus tells us, "If anyone would come after me, he must deny himself. He must take up his cross daily and follow me." So what do comfort-craving fans do with something like the cross? Very easy. We make it a symbol and we keep it at that level. We put crosses on our buildings. We put them in our churches. We put them on t-shirts. We put them on necklaces and earrings. We hang them in our cars. We do just about everything except pick them up and follow Jesus. He delivers us from all kinds of messes that we've got our lives wrapped up in. He gives us a promise of eternal life when we die. But the price of all that on our end is a willingness to die to ourselves in order to follow Him. Every day, we must make a decision to follow Christ. And if you're not listening to the Holy Spirit in your life. Think about these situations. Someone cuts you off at the light. Take up your cross. Follow Him. Someone lied to you. Follow Christ. Some TV show is on and is contrary to Christ's teaching. Follow Christ. A volunteer is needed at the church. Follow Christ. You're tempted to add an additional bill in your life for your comfort, and you still give less than 3% of your income to the church. Take up your cross. follow him. You said something in anger, where you were just plain wrong, follow Christ. You see, picking up your cross is not always going to be comfortable. You keep bringing up something from the past, and you refuse to forgive. Pick up your cross and follow him. You see, the cross is a tough sell. It's bad enough that Jesus had to die on the cross, but why did he have to go and then insist that we all end up with our own crosses? Isn't that kind of ruining Christianity's hope for decent public relations? Doesn't the cross hinder our ability to recruit new people? You see, we're supposed to put our best foot forward, right? And don't we want more people to come to him? That's supposed to be the point, isn't it? Having more people come to Jesus. So we try our best to make Christianity sound as appealing as possible by saying all the wonderful things that Jesus does and will do for us. We're trying to sell Jesus. Some people think that they're doing Jesus a huge favor by coming to him or doing something for him. We don't bother telling people those efforts are in vain without truly knowing him. I mean, why would Jesus use a cross, which is a symbol of torture, of death, of weakness, to describe what he expects of us in our walk with him? The image of the cross seems more appealing to us now because it's no longer used to execute people, and we've dressed it up. You see, we used to seeing the cross as an ornament, a decoration, or piece of jewelry. But if a first century Jew came in and saw an illuminated cross hanging from our wall, they would think we were sick. Imagine people walking around with a guillotine hanging around their neck, or an electric chair dangling from their ears. For the Jews, the cross meant weakness. And one of the reasons we often don't follow Jesus is that we believe that we're going to have more time in the future. And Jesus will still be waiting for us when we finally get ready to come. The reality is, though, even though Jesus has promised to come back to judge this world, we have no idea of when that might happen. We also have no idea when we're going to go home to be with the Lord. Death can come to any of us at any moment. I shudder to think how many people will be in hell who had the good intention of one day becoming a follower of Jesus Christ. In our scripture this morning that Andy read, Jesus is about to take a turn in his ministry. He's done all things over the country. He's been on the sea, in the mountains, on the plains, and in the wilderness, doing all kinds of miracles, preaching great sermons, and gaining the favor of all the people. People were following him in the way we were following the Broncos during their impressive Super Bowl year. Oh, we all wanted to be identified as the winner. The crowd showed up, like we showed up when the Broncos had their parade downtown. Being one of Jesus' disciples was like being on the float with the Broncos riding downtown. People knew we must have been somebody because we were with them. But now, Jesus is on his final march to Jerusalem. And he knows when he gets there, he's going to be arrested. He's going to be beaten. He's going to be rejected. He's going to be all alone. And he'll be crucified. But you see, the people following him don't know this. They simply want to be associated with his team. Jesus' rejection has already begun. He sends some guys into a Samaritan village to make preparations for him. He sends them to parlay plans at the local motel and diner in order for them to eat and spend the night. Now, most Jews wouldn't even go through Samaria, much less try to spend the night there and eat. But when the Samaritans realized there was a group of Jews who they hated, trying to make preparations in their city, they told them to get lost. So James and John, sons of thunder, who felt so insulted that they wanted to destroy the whole city by calling for fire to come down and burn them all up. They weren't picking up their cross. But Jesus rebuked them for their attitude and simply headed for another city. And isn't it interesting how we can do something to get at people who did something to us, who hurt us, who insulted us, who causes pain, and we think, God, the best thing you can do is just wipe them out. Cause them to lose their job. Just strike them dead. Get even with them. And we can honestly think that we're on God's side. And we think just like God. But then we have Jesus tell us, hey, you have the wrong spirit. You're looking for a comfortable cross. I didn't come to destroy those you dislike. I came to save them. In the same way, I came to save you. But as Jesus is walking, a man comes up to him and says, I'm going to follow you wherever you go. But this guy has no idea that Jesus has just been kicked off the accommodations list that he was making at the local Holiday Inn. He has no idea they refused to serve him and his disciples at the local Samaritan Golden Corral. All he sees is how cool it was and must be to follow Jesus. He doesn't know two of the top guys have had their feelings hurt by showing the devil was working inside of them. He didn't see the envy and jealousy among the disciples who had recently been confronted by Jesus for arguing which of them was the greatest. Even though they've been with Jesus for 3 years, they still didn't understand how much of a change Jesus wanted to work inside their lives. And how many of us are still where the disciples were in needing of a spiritual makeover? You see this guy, he didn't know a couple of days before his statement, I'll follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said he was on his way to Jerusalem to be rejected by the elders, to be rejected by the chief priests and the teachers of the law. And then he must be killed. And on the third day be raised to life. Did he really commit to following him to that path? This guy saw a group of people who were traveling with Jesus, which included a group of women who had money, who were helping to pay for what Jesus needed. And no doubt, some of the ladies were probably good looking. He saw comfort and opportunity written all over he and Jesus followed. But listen to Luke 9:58. Jesus replied, foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Jesus is saying, following me may require you to be homeless at some point in your life. It might mean Motel 0 instead of Motel 6. You may see me at the Hilton today, but I won't promise you that's where you're going to be staying for the bulk of your life. You're not picking up a cross to be guaranteed a comfortable place to spend your life. So you might ask, is God against comfort? Kind of sounds like he is, doesn't it? But I have to say, no, he isn't. But listen to this. Is our comfort working against what God wants to do in our lives? Is our comfort working against what God wants to do in our life? Jesus looks around and he sees a guy who's wavering back and forth in his heart. He believes that Jesus is for real. But can he truly pay the price? He's counting the cost to follow Jesus, to give him that extra boost that he needs. Luke 9:59 says, he said to another man, hey, follow me. But the man replied, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. This guy will go with Jesus if Jesus will offer him more time to get all his priorities straight. He's willing to follow Jesus. He just can't do it right now. It's very unlikely this guy's father had already died. If he had, the guy would not have been out on the road watching Jesus pass by. He would have been at home with all the mourning. But this guy's asking for an indefinite leave of absence. His father may not even be sick. And he may be thinking, you know, if I leave home before my father dies, he might cut me out of my inheritance. It would be better and easier for me to follow Jesus once I know how my finances are going to look in the future. And how many of us have asked Jesus for an indefinite leave? You might say, you know, I'm going to get really serious about Jesus once I get older. Let me tell you, you're all older. Once I get more money, I'm going to get really serious once I get married. Once I leave this relationship, I really am going to get serious about Jesus once I finish sowing my wild oats. Once I get out of college. Once I get that job. Once I feel like justice is being done. Once this TV series ends. In other words, when I think it'll be more comfortable for me to do so, then I'm going to stop being a fan, and I'm going to take up my cross, and I'm going to follow Jesus. We agree to follow Jesus, but it has to be on our terms and on our soul. Verse 60 says, Jesus said to him, let the dead bury their own dead, but you go. You go now and proclaim the kingdom of God. And this verse could also say, let the dying bury their own dead. Jesus is emphasizing that he demands a loyalty that is greater than that to one's own family and one's own future. Jesus knew there were other people capable of burying this man's father. When the time came, we were not under a spiritual call. Jesus had a mission for this guy to do, and he wanted him to do it now. Who knows? This guy may have become one of the great preachers of the book of Acts. He might have thought he could have been a great asset to the Apostle Paul. Jesus has a plan because he tells him, you go and proclaim the kingdom of God. But sadly, the reality is, Jesus will probably be crucified before this man's father is dead. This man will have given up the opportunity to learn from Jesus in a personal setting. Jesus wants to put something inside of this guy right now, but he's not ready to accept it. So what is Jesus trying to put inside of us today that we won't accept it? Because we're not willing to change. We're not willing to let go of our comfortable cross. If Jesus had now called this guy out, he probably would have been convinced himself that he believed in Jesus. He was a true follower. And when Jesus calls us to change, that's when we discover just how much we believe about it. But there's the last guy that comes looking for a comfortable cross. Luke 9:61 and 62. He said, I will follow you, Lord, but first, let me go back and say goodbye to my family. You see, this guy's willing. But again, there are a few things to do first. He wants to talk it over with his family. He wants to talk it over with the financial advisor. And just make sure it's the right decision. And if they agree, they'll probably give him a great big party, have all the relatives over, and send him on his way. But you know what happens when you get a big family gathering together? Somebody's going to tell you, don't go wasting your life on that religious stuff. It doesn't take all that to know God. Why? I haven't been in church in 5 years. I'm all right with God. Verse 62 says, Jesus knew this guy was not solid. In his response, so Jesus said, no one who puts a hand to the plow and looks back is fit for service in the kingdom of God. You see, we can't follow Jesus and keep wondering if we left something behind that we greatly regret. I started with Jesus at an early age, and I know it was the best decision of my life. Life hasn't always led me to comfortable crosses, but I grew each time I ran into one. Who else but God could take a cross that represented defeat and turn it into a symbol of victory? Who else but God could take a cross that represented guilt and turn it into a symbol for grace? Who else but God could take a cross that represented condemnation and turn it into a symbol of freedom? Who else but God could take a cross that represented pain and suffering and turn it into a symbol of healing and hope? Who else but God could take a cross that represented death and turn it into a symbol of life? No one else could, but he did. What seems like the ultimate moment of God's weakness was in reality the ultimate moment of God's strength. What God did for the cross, he can do for me and you. Because it's when we let go of our need for comfort, when we let go of our need for comfort, we let go of our need to be in control, our need to glory in our strength or accomplishments, or a paycheck, or a trophy, or a co-worker's approval, or whatever it is that keeps you from abandoning a comfortable version of the cross. It's then that God does in our lives what he did in Christ's death. Do for us what you did for the cross. Do for us what you did for the cross. Do for me. Do for this church. Do for this city. Do for this nation, for the world, what you did for the cross, that we might begin to understand why you chose. Why you chose such an uncomfortable means of self-sacrifice. Do for us what you did for the cross. Do for us what you did for the cross. Lord, this sermon was kind of tough because it spoke to my heart. You know I love comfort. I like life going easy. But Lord, you don't always see it that way. Sometimes you give us a cross to bear, Lord, to make us grow up. And I would pray, Lord, that we grow in that. Help us when you call us to do something that we don't delay it, but we do it right now. Lord, there's times that you call us to go to the hospital and pray for people. And sometimes we do it. And sometimes we want to be comfortable and stay home. But Lord, those people need you. Help us to be a witness to you every day. And do what you want us to do. Help us to forget about our own comfort. Lord, you weren't very comfortable on that cross. But you did it for us. Thank you for that, Lord. I pray that this sermon made sense this morning, Lord, and everyone will take up the cross and follow you. In your name we pray. Amen.